All right, we got some sound from Jabril Cox, Liam Shanahan, and Zach Von Rosenberg speaking to the media on Tuesday. As we said, Coach Orgeron will be on the SEC teleconference this morning. He will meet with the press this afternoon following practice and then to his radio show over at TJ Ribs for a 7 o'clock start on Eagle 98.1. Remember, that'll be followed up by the Tiger Zone, so a lot of LSU football content heading your way today right here on ESPN Baton Rouge and Eagle 98.1. Here is Zach Von Rosenberg talking about a couple of freshmen that could be looked at this weekend as a starter and backup.
Max and TJ getting all the reps, obviously, so they're getting, or they have been getting significant time that they, in previous weeks they hadn't really had because they're running with the one. They're taking turns at the one position at quarterback. But and on top of that, they're gaining all that experience. And with everybody else, defense, O-line, D-line, we're focused on what we can do better, and not so much what other teams are doing, but what we're not doing. And I think that's going to roll over into the game on Saturday, and how we kind of changed our preparation slightly to worry about us doing things that we need to be doing better and things that we can improve on that have nothing to do with the opposing team.
Love Von Rosenberg's honesty there with the breakdown of how the reps are being handed out.
How much you think Panamsky, Orgeron, and the crew love Von Rosenberg? You think we see him again at media availability? Ever again?
When things are tight like this and you're trying to keep everything very close to the chest, yeah, that maybe is a step too far. But I mean, to be honest,
can we get Von Rosenberg again?
But to be honest, he did just basically confirm exactly what Coach O had told us, right? Which I do find interesting, though, because there still is, I think, a camp out there that believes that people saying that Finley and Johnson are close is just lip service. I do not believe that to be the case at all now. I think they are close. I think today is a massive practice for those cats. I think yesterday was. You're never going to make a ton of movement on Monday, though without a Saturday game, this probably had a bit more of an impact. Thursday practices as well are kind of a final tune-up, meaning that you don't always make a lot of movement there. Like the starting job for Saturday will be won or lost yesterday and today. So those guys got to bring it today. But even if, like, whoever wins a job, I do firmly agree with this idea that Coach O's put out there, which is that he wants to give both live reps and see who sinks or swims. Like if they're close to one another, sure, one may practice a little better, but guys are gamers, right? And so what happens when you're actually out there on the field against an opponent? It's something that you cannot replicate in practice no matter how hard you try. And according to Rosie, yeah, it sounds like they are rotating both these guys in and out, and it's a competition. And then I also like hearing the confirmation that LSU's realizing, look, before we can even focus really honestly on like what other teams are doing, we have to get our own home in order, and then we can start to grow from there.
More from ZVR. Here he is talking about Miles Brennan.
I've talked to Miles a little bit. He's resting, and he's still watching film, and he's still, in the film room giving, guys advice. And he's he even said it yesterday in his tweet that he's a fighter, and he's not going to let our team, from a preparation standpoint, be lacking. And I really believe that he's going to be right behind TJ and Max, helping them in any way he can behind the scenes. I don't know if he's playing or not playing, but I know he's going to be in that room in their ear, helping both of them as much as he can for whoever plays on Saturday. And if not, both of them play. I don't know.
Yeah, that might be even a soundbite that's been more telling. Look, so Joe Poe in the chat says, so Miles hasn't been ruled out yet. Why are we talking about the freshman starting already? Jordy, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, read between the lines there, my guy, Joe Poe. The head coach has done everything but say that Miles Brennan is out and that the freshmen are going to play. He's the most transparent head coach in the sport.
Yeah.
And this week he pretty much told you his guy is done for the week, and they're looking at two true freshmen. Did you just hear Zach Von Rosenberg's? You just hear what he just said about handling the reps? I mean, he said Max and TJ are handling all the reps.
Yeah, who are taking
That's why you'll never hear from Zach Von Rosenberg again, because he just gave you exactly what's happening on the practice field, and there ain't no 15 out there.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, and even, yeah, exactly, right. Even in that last bite, you kind of heard that he hasn't been able to be out there. So, you'd rather have him start against South Carolina than Florida.
Thank you, T-Bob. Here's Liam Shanahan talking about both of them.
Yeah, so they're They're both really talented. I personally think. They are a little bit different. Max, I would say, runs the ball a little bit better. He's more of a dual threat guy. But TJ is really good in the pocket. He has a really impressive arm. They both have a ton of upside, and it's going to be a good battle between them for this week. To see what happens if Miles can't go. So.
La Taiga 007 Birdman, hell of a name.
Damn.
Says, would you rather start TJ or Max? A little early, would you rather here?
TJ Maxx.
Yeah, it was, again, great. If it was a 2-quarterback system, could not be more perfect.
I mean, it sounds like the skill sets are that Max Johnson's a little bit more of a dual threat, and that TJ Finley has got a cannon connected to his right shoulder.
And I'm really intrigued by the TJ Finley weight loss. What's the word? That he went from like 260 to 240?
I mean, he's a beast.
Since he's got down here. And the only reason I'm intrigued by that is it speaks to someone who is super, super raw coming out of high school, but who has also transitioned to college in the appropriate way. Like full commitment, like make it happen.
So, look, man, I believe that you see both of those guys on Saturday. I really do. Because I think that their skill set, it contrasts so much one another that they still don't know who they are offensively yet from an identity standpoint. So I just think they're trying to find what's best at the moment and see if they can't get production.
Yeah, I will say, so they're going to want to run the ball more, and that's maybe where Max Johnson has a big advantage, is because he can run that zone read that LSU's built so much of this rushing attack around. I thought I would see more creativity on the running front coming into the year, like still running out of spread, but maybe including some elements that didn't require the quarterback as much, given that you have Miles. So again, the athletic piece pushes Johnson right across the finish line to me, because you just want an option when you got a young guy and things could break down. But I'm almost more excited about Finley because he is someone that I had completely written off, and I've become pretty enamored with a lot of the stuff that I've been hearing since practice started about the movement that he made. I mean, even down to this is kind of buried in the shuffle, and I even avoided making a perverted joke about it. But
here goes nothing.
When Coach O was talking about, no, I'm going to say in a non-perverted way, when Coach O was talking about his throws being dropped the least of any amount of quarterback during camp, right? So, like, we're getting these little nuggets that show that TJ Finley is probably a way better quarterback than I think me and a lot of other people had assumed just from what we were hearing throughout the spring and the summer. But again, the spring and the summer info is coming from a very small sample size. So, like, you have to recognize that when you try to evaluate it.
Yeah, Ogeron on the big slinger from Ponchatoula earlier this week said his balls were easy to catch. More off the bench. Would you rather next?